everybody, and welcome to Headline Mondays on The Crunch. Now, I hope you've had a great weekend. I can assure you that there was definitely a lot happening in the news over the weekend, and throughout this week, we're going to discuss every single issue that made the news. But today, we have to talk about the major headlines. One of the things that really made the news was the resident doctor strike and all the implications for the health sector. Before we get there, though, we have to do our recap of the week in the news with our friends from Pulse NG. Guys, with me in the studio today is Monjola Sotubo. She's from Pulse NG, our friends over at Pulse NG. You know that they have someone come over every week so that we can talk about the biggest issues in the news over the past week. Well, Monjola is the perfect person to talk about it because she's the news editor for Pulse NG. Welcome to the Crunch.
Arit. Thank you. It's great to be here.
Great to finally meet you.
Thank you.
Pulse NG, what made the news over the past week?
Well, I think the biggest story this week was the EFCC freezing Ekiti State Governor Ayefayeshe's bank accounts
yes.
on due to corruption charges. And I mean, it was a major topic of controversy because of Section 308 of the Constitution, which says governors and the president cannot be prosecuted.
Yes.
So I mean, it came as a shock, especially to Fayeshe himself. I heard he threw a tantrum in the bank and was citing, I'm immune to this and everything. But it turns out that governors can actually be investigated, and
which is what is happening.
Is part of investigation. So he can't be prosecuted, but I mean his account can be frozen as part of the investigations. So I mean that led to a lot of other side effects. Side effects is a good one. There's an issue with the First Lady, which I don't know, everybody is waiting for clarification on that, but apparently they are sticking to their story of what the insulting words that were
that's
uttered.
Twitter exchange.
Yes, that exchange. And I hear she sent a letter, a warning letter to him and told him to retract his allegation. After she gave him 5 days because what started the whole thing is she accused the First Lady of participating in a bribery scandal involving a U.S. congressman, William Jefferson, in 2009. Turns out it wasn't the First Lady, it was another woman named Aisha Buhari. Okay. So that was what started the whole thing. And then there's the bank officials who went to beg Fayeshe. So it was a really, really dragged out story.
I have to say,
it's still going on.
There are a lot of Fayeshe's policies that I don't really understand, but boy, does he know how to be in the news. He does. Like he's always there's a comment or there's an action. You know,
I write on Fayeshe every day.
He knows how to work the media. Literally, he does. It's so interesting.
I heard somebody say recently that he's an alpha male. He knows how to stay at the center of attention. And that's why he keeps getting people to kneel down. I mean, it's like the third time somebody's kneeling down before Fayeshe. So,
no, that just threw a whole other scandal into the whole mix, you know. It's been a very interesting week where Ekiti State is concerned. But what else made the news?
Then there was the AMCON shutting down of Senator Ben Bruce's businesses due to an 11 billion
naira bad debt. Yes.
I mean, he had some of his complexes in Abuja, Port Harcourt, and Lagos. The one in VI was shut down. But the one in Ikeja was left open. I mean, that got a lot of people talking because Senator Murray Bruce is kind of controversial, and he's always giving advice on this is how to run the country, it's
making
how to run
common
the economy.
sense.
So yes, people thought, I mean, common sense.
Can I say Nigerians are somehow?
Yes.
You know that as soon as that seizure was announced, people were tweeting at him like, "Oh, really? You can't even run." And he was like, "Look, it's a business. These things happen. But we have no chill."
Yeah, I think I get where they're coming from, but it's really unfair because this is one of the people who is actually employing Nigerians.
Exactly.
How many people employ as many people as
he does?
And businesses will come under attack. So we have to just separate Silverbird from
the senator.
The senator. I mean, he has his own flaws, but we have to just admit that he has built a very big entertainment business that has kept a lot of people
He is
employed.
a trailblazer in his way.
So his personal flaws aside, I actually think he should be sympathized with at this time, and as many people as can support him should support him so the business doesn't go under.
And anything else?
There's we have a new Inspector General of Police now. Yes. Solomon Arase had to leave the office on Tuesday due to reaching the mandatory retirement age of 60. So we have Ibrahim Putum Idris is our new Inspector General of Police. He used to be the Commissioner in Kano. And more recently, an Assistant Inspector General. Yes. So he's the new occupant of the office now.
And there were the usual comments about there being a tribal marginalization. But then there were also people rebutting that and saying actually the other 6 people who were passed over are due to retire anyway in about 6 months. So it doesn't make sense to appoint somebody who's going to retire in 6 months anyway. Because, again, I think Nigerians are surveying appointments with a very suspicious eye. And there's the feeling that, okay, you know, the president is majorly picking people from the north. But I think that made sense to me.
With the whole northern appointment thing, I mean, I understand coming from a country that's very segmented, I understand why people want to say, oh, everybody's from the north. Yeah. But the issue is, a president has to surround himself with people who he trusts, who he believes are going to deliver on his own, on his policies, because at the end of the day, he's the one who has to answer to this. So, I mean, I tell people that we don't need to say, oh, my brother has to be in office, because if your brother is there and he's not doing the right thing,
then what's the point?
So, I mean, just give it a chance. I understand why people are afraid. I understand, because there's a lot of fears about, oh, Islamization, they're all Muslims and all of this. But just give it a chance. I mean, we're still in the majority.
It even now shows this thing about people thinking that the north is this huge lump where everybody is the same. Yes, they might not be as obviously diverse as the south, but the north also has a variety of tribes and cultures, and that I often feel is not taken into consideration when we say the north. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I mean when I said we're segmented, because even with all the crises happening in the north, it's like they're in a different country entirely. We don't relate.
We don't relate.
Nigerians,
exactly.
It doesn't come all the way here. So I think it's a unification. We actually do need a unification of our country to see that, oh, it doesn't really matter what tribe the person does. Does he do the job?
Does he do the job?
President Muhammadu Buhari's ambassadorial list that's another major news story, was rejected by the Senate.
The Senate, yeah.
Because they say, oh,
it's
there are
skewed.
some people for some states,
that
Senator
were not
Joshua
represented.
Darie says he knows 2 major diplomats from his state who were not on the list.
Yeah,
and some of the senators said there was nobody from Bayelsa and some other states. So I mean, they're saying, oh, federal character should be respected. But another thing is, how can we continue this if we're not having the best people from this state? We should focus on having the best people, not just because he's from Bayelsa, he has to be.
He has to be represented.
He has to be. So that list has been rejected, even though that is probably connected to the new forgery charges filed against Senate President Bukola Saraki and Ike Kwemadu, which is another major news headline now.
Obviously, it was it's like everything just leading up to everything else, you know. But yeah, there's definitely a lot, and it's very subtle underground news that will probably now start assuming more significance as the days go by. And I'm definitely going to drag you back here to talk about it. So, but we have to take a quick break now. Okay. I know it doesn't seem like enough time. I need more time. I need more time to talk about the news. But thank you so much, Shola, for joining us.
It was great to be here.
It's been a pleasure. We will have you again, in fact, often. Yes. You know you're the news person, so it has to be you. Yes. Guys, we're going to take a really quick break. We'll be right back.